Hi there, I'm Ben, and welcome to part 16 of my full platinum walkthrough for Alan Wake Remastered. Episode 4 of Nightmare Playthrough. This one's fairly slow to start off with. There's just one Nightmare manuscript in this whole episode. It's quite near the end, just before the fight on the stage. So it's quite a while yet. Right, I'm going to skip all of this. So you've done it all before. It's the bit where you walk around with Hartman and then you get introduced to all the people and that. It's basically a walking cutscene, you kind of interactive cutscene, let's say. So I've skipped to the part where you have kind of full rain-ish again. You just got to go up to the room and then everything sort of kicks off. Now the first part is quite straightforward again. It's just escaping the building, which is, it's just poltergeist. The only thing you need to worry about really is once you go down here, you've got to go into the room, free Barry, and then come back out here, and then the way will get blocked with the bookshelves. When you start the generator up, just make sure the bookshelves actually disappear before moving downstairs. Sometimes they don't. And that's about it. I'll rejoin you once you actually manage to get out of the building.
Let me out of here! Hartman, do you hear me? I'm gonna do your crazy quack after
Barry?
Fled.
Ow! About time!
Seriously!
I had to find a way out. I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way.
Ow! I'm here! I found the car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Right, now that we're out and we now have a flashlight, it's time to go through the maze, which is not difficult at all, really. When you first get the flashlight, just run. Don't bother with the four pillars that kind of break away. Just run to the gate and at least break at least one of the sides so you can get through. There you go, both of them. And then we'll go into the maze, which we're going to pretty much skip as well. There's going to be lots of skipping, really. Not skipping, because Alan can't even run, so he's not going to be able to skip. But we're going to do the first lot of enemies. They're fairly straightforward. And we're going to skip the second lot. So use the same path as I do. If you kind of get lost, it's right, then kind of left, and then here it's right, but I'm going to go to the just back away to the left. Get rid of this first one. He's always going to appear, and then there's some stuff on the bench. I think it's batteries on the bench here. Yeah, and then turn around and face this way as you walk backwards. That way, because another one's going to appear. Get a headshot from back here. Not bad. And then you're gonna. This is the right way. When you get to the tree, there's a few bits on the side here. And then this is going to be the bit that we skip in a moment. So if you go left, and then kind of straight on here, there's going to be one that will appear first, wherever he is. Where is he? There he is. And then there's going to be 3, including one of the big guys. And we're just going to skip those. So just run forward, and then go to the right, and then pop the flare as the big guy comes towards you. But if you're feeling confident, you can always try and dodge him. But yeah, you probably could, to be honest. There's not much room for them to maneuver there. And then run the quick path there. Almost got turned around myself. And you'll be done. So skip that one. We've got Bill Cosby back again. Are you allowed to make jokes about Bill Cosby yet? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he just sounds so much like him. Yeah, he's actually quite tough, to be honest, with regards to how long it takes to reduce that kind of dark stuff around him. Plus, you're getting attacked by birds, which is not good. Now, actually thinking about this part here, you may actually be able to skip this encounter, because you can just run off down the path to the right. There's nothing stopping you. But I wonder if he would follow you. I probably should have tested that. I wasn't expecting him to be this. I remembered, obviously, I've done him in the nightmare mode already. I've already done all of this, but this just seemed to take forever when I was trying to get rid of him. Maybe it's because I was going for the birds more this time rather than ignoring them. Eventually, he'll break his shield. And it does take quite a few bullets to drop as well. I'm reloading and the birds always manage to hit me. Stop it. Right. So there is actually a flare gun also. There is actually a flare gun on the kind of pagoda, veranda, whatever these things. What are these things called? One of those words with the odors in. On the floor, which can help either get rid of the guy himself or get rid of the birds. Either way, you're going to want to save some for the end of the this encounter, though, this chapter. So maybe save the flare gun. That's why I've done it. Right, don't go down the steps. Don't use the main path here, because some enemies will spawn. If you go round this way, I've actually tested it now, it works. If you go round, they don't spawn at all. The trigger must be on the stairs. They would usually appear by that bench. But no, they don't. So just go round, completely ignore them. And yeah, the rest is kind of straightforward for a moment. We're going to pick up the shotgun in here. You know my love for shotguns, although we have to use it all the way through this episode. And then there's going to be a few guys that appear here. Try and drop back as quickly as possible. That's what I'm going to do. And you have to get quite close to the bushes for them to spawn. But drop back so you can get all 3 in front of you rather than having one behind you. Then break through the gate on the left. There's going to be the section where you can get the supply chest. I would definitely recommend getting the supply chest. There's just 3 easy enemies you need to take care of there. And then I'll rejoin you for the final standoff when Barry's fumbling around with the keys. So I'll see you then.
open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry.
Well, I slammed it shut when the nasty showed up, and the key fits kind of loose in the lock, so, I'll find it. Don't worry about it.
Right, have your flare gun ready for this. If you're lucky, you're going to kill more than I do, but you want to aim at the big guys with the flare gun, obviously. I try and wait for him to get a bit closer, but I don't have much time because there are two coming up here. So I do need to pop a flare and get rid of those two. Putting the shotgun to work here. But yeah, you're just holding off. There's no rush to kill all the enemies. You're just holding off their advances. So waiting till the last moment isn't the worst idea, to be honest. I had to hit them there with the flare gun. Don't be afraid to use all your flare guns and flares and whatever you have. Just chuck everything at them because you're going to lose all your weapons at the beginning of the next chapter anyway. So it doesn't matter. So whenever they get close, hit them with the flare gun. And you'll see I don't actually need to kill everybody. I think as these sort of approach now, Barry manages to get the gate open. And that's all you're waiting for. There we go. Is it now? Yeah, I found the key. And yeah, just keep backing backwards when he says he's found the key. And he'll be good. And that'll be the end of that chapter. And on to the second part where we actually go to the farm. Nothing overly difficult here. We do have a lot of running to do. First and foremost because we don't have any weapons to start with. At the beginning here, we're going to go through the gate and a few bits, quite a lot of running around, and we've got to go through the gate. At first, there's that part with the possessed things. We're just going to run. There's like a yard or a mine on the left-hand side. A load of possessed things being thrown at you. Take the same route that I do and use poles. Like you see, the first thing, I stop behind a pole. That's on purpose. Always try and just, if you know something's going to come flying towards you, just put something in between you and it. The hitboxes on them are quite sort of wide, so it will more than likely just bounce off whatever's in the way. And yeah, just run for it really. And then break the gate down with the light, and once you pick up the torch, I'll rejoin you because there's a bit of a tricky situation there.
You can catch up. Don't worry about it. I'm on the case.
Now he's Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with him.
Shadows crawled over the gate. I needed a light to destroy them to get going. I could sense the movement in the woods ahead. Facing the enemy without a weapon was dangerous, but I had no choice.
Right, so I probably shouldn't have dropped off from that high height and lost like a quarter of my health, but there you go. But when you drop down, stick to the right-hand side of this rock. We did it the first time as well, but stick to the right-hand side of the rock and cut out the first sort of part of the path where these ones spawn. And just kind of casually stroll, a little bit of a run. You don't want to use all your stamina up, because more guys are going to pick. You've got literally nothing. You just need to get through this. So just casually walk. And if you hear something being thrown, try and dodge it. Not that we got anywhere there. And then when these guys swing at you, dodge. and then just try and run up the stairs as quickly as possible. It might take you a few attempts. You are on nightmare mode, so you are going to take a lot of damage quickly, but you can use as many checkpoints as you like. That's not going to be held against you. It's completely fine. And yeah, which part is next? Yeah, so we've got the light coming down now, haven't we? That brings you the manuscript. And then there's the bit with all the bear traps. Again, we're just going to be skipping through it. So pick up this better torch. Lasts a lot longer. Yeah, it takes so long to switch. I don't understand why it's not just assigned to a different button or something. It takes so long to switch weapons. It's not very responsive.
The car was heading for the cabin up ahead. It wasn't far. If it was Barry, I would see the damage soon.
Yeah, so at this section we've got the gate in the way, and then there's going to be the light will come down, give us that manuscript, and then we've got the bear traps. Yeah, we will skip the bear traps. Just stick to the same path as I do, and run for the first generator. There shouldn't be anything that chases you towards the first generator. Kick that up, put that on, pick up the shotgun, which is a definite, obviously, and then we're going to be using a flare to skip the next part after that. So yeah, here, these flares, make sure you pick these up, and then follow the path, and always be aware of where these are, because we're going to have to run through them later on. I'm trying to switch to a gun. I just realised I don't have guns yet. There's one on the corner here. So you will hear the noise sort of start as if enemies are around, but you should be able to make it and not be bothered at all here. Just run straight for the generator and start it up to get that checkpoint, and the shotgun, of course. And then we're going to skip this next part. Can be a bit hairy. Yeah, you need to be quick. You need to get them to spawn late. If you dilly-dally here, they are going to spawn quite quickly. So run and get them to spawn a bit later on, kind of around here. I think one appears to my right or something here. There he is. Then just let them kind of get a bit closer. Stick to the main path with the bear traps. Obviously don't stand in them, be aware of them. And you're not safe yet, you're not out of the woods yet. They're probably still behind me at this point, but I didn't want to turn around and look, I just wanted to keep moving. These three, I think there's three, 1, 2, 3, yeah, at least three here, will always spawn. Just run for the light and just completely ignore them. You should be alright without having to pop a flare there. And yeah. Simple enough. And then in this house, we're going to have the big guy burst through the window once you've been upstairs and got the revolver. And then we're going to come outside, go underneath the house, get the supply chest. That's important for later on. We're going to be getting quite a few of those. And then drive down the hill and make your way into the cornfield. You can get the rifle if you really want to by driving straight ahead, where I turn right at the junction. I would probably not, as much as I'd prefer the rifle over the shotgun. There is so much shotgun ammo in this episode or chapter, and there's not that much rifle, so having the shotgun is probably the better option this time around, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'll join you when we're in the field, when we're driving at the end of the driving section, so I'll see you then.
Danny, huh?
I'm never going to release her. I'm going to change this. I'll escape. I've written myself into this.
The farm was still a good distance away. I'd need a car to get there fast.
In a horror story, it can't be certain that the hero will succeed or even survive. He almost has to die.
If Barry wasn't up here, he was probably in trouble down at the farm. For a moment, I felt bad for doubting him. After all, I made it this far myself. But Barry was Barry.
For this part now, after doing some stunt driving, you're going to want to take care of these in the car. Don't get out and bother with them. Just reverse back, keep hitting the headlights, try and get rid of their shield. These ones do not go down easy. Now, he's not dead yet. Just keep circling, and yeah, you will want to get rid of these first, because they will follow you. Oh, I tried to get both. No luck there. And then spin it around, and we'll finally get this, the big one. Obviously, we get the big flash and the slowdown when you've killed them all. And at that point, we'll come and rest here. There we go. So the manuscript is coming up soon. I tried to park this car in the way just to stop them spawning, see if it was possible. But if you head towards here, it appears that one of them actually jumps over the hay barrier or the fence, so it doesn't really make a difference. But it did stop the other one for a moment. It just brute forced his way past the truck. Yeah, this thing's obviously simple enough. It can't get you. Just do it from a distance. Don't bother with flares or the flare gun or anything. You want to save all that. Just burn through your batteries. And then we'll go and get the manuscript. Finally. Just one. All the rest are in 5 and 6, obviously. Most of them are 7 between them. Before we get the manuscript, you can see it just shining up on the left hand side there, off in the distance. Before getting it, I'm just going to nip in here and get the supply chest. You want to do this because flare gun's always good. You want flare gun for the end of the level. You want plenty of ammo for it. Maybe have a flare ready here, because there are going to be 2. I know the big guy's here on the right hand side. I just thought I had more time, but I kept missing with the torch, so I didn't get rid of this guy's shield. But he completely misses me, which is a luck more than anything at this point. Yeah, we're not having that. You're not having you charging at me. So there's going to be lots of supplies coming up, so you should be good for the fight that's coming up. That's why I'm only using pistol. Close again. Right, now we'll go and get the manuscript. So remember, that's what we came here for. Go and get the manuscript. There is, weirdly up here on the right hand side, there's a possessed item that throws itself at you. I've seen it once. I didn't go back and check, but because I got backed into a corner from those 2 guys once. But weirdly, there are some possessed items up there, that even though there's no need to go up there. And then we're going to run all the way down and start off, well, kind of gently jog and start off the main part of this episode, which is this big fight here. It's not difficult, honestly. It's not. I don't know if you were worrying about this. It's not that bad. There's a lot of checkpoints within the fight itself. Whenever Barry, so yeah, there we go. Whenever Barry puts the light in the center, then you're going to get a checkpoint. You're going to want to switch to the pump action as quickly as possible here, because obviously switching weapons takes forever. So do it at the start. I'm pressing it the whole time there, and then hit this first lot with a flare. Why not? You should be able to get rid of quite a few of them, especially if you did it first and then picked up the shotgun. That probably would have been better, to be honest. And then yeah, it's just a case like with the other one, is holding enemies off. Let them bunch together and hit them with a flashbang or a flare. You want to save at least 2 flares for the end. Where the hell did you come from? For the end of the chapter when the Combine Harvester attacks. See, yeah, so yeah, they're just holding off, and when the light sort of comes on, it kills them anyway. And then you step in it, you're going to get a checkpoint and re-heal. Once you've done the first one, pick up this torch. Very slowly, of course. And yeah, just repeat. There's not much more to say about this one. Just keep pushing them back and wait for them to sort of crowd together and maybe hit them. If it's safe to use the shotgun, obviously use the shotgun. But yeah, you want them to get close because of the shotgun having the distance limitation as well, unfortunately. Not that close though. And yeah, when things get a little bit crazy, just pop a flashbang. And that's all. Obviously, there's the 2 red containers behind us on the wall as well, the supply things. There's stuff in there if you need it. But yeah, whenever the light comes on, step in it for another checkpoint. You should not have any problems with this at all. And then once it's finished, go into the barn. You're going to have the fight in the barn upstairs. There's going to be the kind of fish guy that appears as you break the barn down. And yeah, once outside, there's a few enemies there. I'll rejoin you for the Combine Harvester boss fight. There's nothing else really to be said. It's just kind of go forward. There's not really that much. After this, it's pretty straightforward. With a big bunch of enemies around the corner off when you leave the barn, just use a flashbang or 2. And yeah, don't be afraid to use what you've got. Just save a couple of flare gun ammo for the end of the level of Combine Harvester, and I'll rejoin you for that.
Awesome moment of our entire lives!
They are trying to kill us. That's the high point of my life? Really?
Children of the Elder God! Enjoy it! God damn it! Back in the game! Yes! Oh! Did I do that? That was awesome!
Bright Falls, rock and roll capital of America.
Hey, Al! This way to the farm! See, bestseller? No reason to worry. Your cutout's good as new, right where I left it. I'll come back for it once we have the place secured. Hey, I think Alan Wake here has something to say. What's that, Al?
I'm Alan Wake. I'm always right about everything. And if I don't get my way, I'm sorry.
Wow! You look at that thing, Al! They really went all out with this Viking crap, didn't they? Look at all this stuff. They must have done okay for themselves, so how come I never heard of these guys before?
And this from the guy who learned about Ozzy Osbourne through reality TV?
Sleep. We all spend a third of our
Night
dreams in
Springs.
its soft embrace,
Man,
somewhere
what's that
between
memory?
fantasy and
Hey,
oblivion.
remember when I got you that gig?
But
Your
dreams
first
have a
real
way of
writing
forcing
job. What got you started?
The Viking boat looked imposing, almost like a battering ram.
In Night Springs.
Oh, good going, Al!
You're just another dream. I'm a dream. You're a dream. The weirdo in the diving suit is a dream.
think we can make it through here, Al? Those geezers had quite a production going on. Ooh, you know what, Al? If we make it through this alive, I'm gonna start representing them. Yep, sell this stuff online, maybe get a reality show going, release a new single. Be careful, Al!
I'm good. Keep your eyes open, okay? I could see the building that had to be the Andersons' home on the other side of the field. It wasn't far now. I wasn't worried about trusting the ramblings of two...
Okay, so this is the Combine Harvester. Obviously, you've done this before. Yeah, this fight goes the same as it did for me on the easy mode as well. If you're really quick here, you're going to stop the other enemies spawning, which is what you want to try and do. So this is why I've got a couple of flare guns left, because you can kill it really quickly with the flare gun. 2 flare guns and a bit of torch should get rid of it pretty quickly. Be aware, if you are slow though, enemies will spawn around you, like 3 or 4 of them. So you want to be fairly quick here. Hit it with the 2 flares and finish it off with the torch before it gets too far away. There you go, easy. That's why we kept the flare gun. And yeah, we've just got this big guy. Once he breaks through, get rid of him. I'm just checking, nobody else spawned for me, so it must be a time sensitive thing. If you get rid of it quickly, they're not going to spawn. Or maybe they despawn when you kill it. No, they don't, because I've had to fight them in easy mode that way. Yeah, just kill it quickly. Get rid of this guy. Free Barry. Go into the house. You're pretty much done now. And then there's the final chapter of this episode, which is that dream sequence. I've left it in for what it is, but you don't actually have to do anything. There's nothing else to find or anything. I kind of skip it at the end whenever the extended dialogue happens, and that's it. So yeah, moving on, nearly there. Right, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey, what's the holdup? Come on, this place is all dusty. You know... Hey, let's go, man. I think we're gonna have to work together to hold this thing down. It's pretty heavy. Hey, I think that's the farm on the other side of the field. We're almost there. This farm is a crazy place for crazy people.
We should feel right at home then.
Come on, one more gate. This thing. biatch. Can you hear that, Al? Music?
Of course. We need to find where it's coming from. That's the message the Andersons talking about. That's the whole reason we're here.
Lady of the Light? Oh, that's gotta be what's-her-face, the crazy lamp lady from the town.
Cynthia Weaver.
Right.
Alice, I'm coming. It's all right. I'm coming. It was a crazy drunken dream, and yet it was more than that. It was the truth, a suppressed memory unearthed by the Andersons' moonshine. I was there, an out-of-body observer. This was the night Alice and I had arrived at Bright Falls, the night Alice had disappeared. I had a chance to find out what had happened. I remembered being surprised to see the cabin dark. Alice would have never turned the lights off. I remembered thinking I caught a glimpse of her form underwater, sinking into the darkness. Diving after her was the last vague memory I had of that night. After that, I'd been easy prey.
Look at the cabin. Is there someone in the window?
Alice?
Maybe she didn't drown after all. Maybe she's inside.
Alice!
Yes.
The dark presence had touched me. She had dug her nails into my brain and used me, made me her puppet.
She must be here somewhere. Maybe upstairs in the study.
Alice!
Yes, that's where she is. You can apologize